So he's going to have to get out there and go do it quickly. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this one between David Bay and Greg Page, and there it is. And they are very comparable. Now, one thing of note, I think, is that Page came in at 233, and that is one of the lighter weights that he's come in at. He was 221 when he lost to Trevor Berbick. Didn't want to be quite that light. 224 for Bay. Common opponent, only George Chaplin, and Page had a much tougher time with him than did David Bay, who knocked his man out in 4 rounds. So that's the only common opponent. Little to choose between the two of them. Youth really pretty much on the side of either man. 25 years old for Greg Page, 27 years old for David Bay. They're both on the threshold, as we mentioned. A win tonight, of course, would catapult either man very much into the title picture. David Bay, undefeated in 13 fights, not very much experience, 11 knockouts. He was once 290 pounds, believe it or not. Greg Page, on the other side of the coin, 23 victories. He has just 2 defeats. He has 18 knockouts in those 25 fights.
Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 6 by the WBC, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 224 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 13 wins, no defeats, and 11 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing David Bay. From Louisville, Kentucky, he weighed in at 233 pounds. His professional record consists of 23 wins, 2 defeats with 18 KOs. He's rated number 1 by the WBC in the world. Introducing the USBA heavyweight champion, Greg Page.
I gave you instructions in the dressing room. Remember, in case of a knockdown, I want you to go into the neutral corner. I want you to stay there till I tell you to come out. Watch your low blows. Watch your heads. When I tap you on the back, just break clean. Understand? If you got one hand free, you can keep on banging away. Okay? Shake hands. Let's have a good fight. Come on, that's it.
Larry Merchant, a couple of notes before we get started here. Greg Page comes in, mom and dad on his trunks. He looks very fit, much more so than the last time we saw him. And the other point we just touched upon, David Bay at one time was 290 pounds.
Yeah, we saw him as an amateur at 270. He was a terrific amateur, but he knew he had to lose a lot of weight, and he's lost over 50 pounds in order to be able to fight good pros at a professional tempo for 10 or more rounds. He's very determined, very disciplined, as the loss of weight shows. The kind of things that have been absent from Greg Page up to now.
It was a good right hand by Greg Page as Bay tried to be the aggressor, and Page caught him on the way in.
James Morton is very high on the trainer of Greg Page, very high on Greg Page. He feels that Page now has his mind together, and he will be more effective now in his career.
If anybody knows James Morton, you do. Of course, he was in your corner, Ray, for all those years. In fact, I was going to say, Greg Page does look much more fit tonight, but he was still the second most fit guy in his corner. James Morton, at 42 years old, looks great.
But James has claimed to taking a lot of weight off Page, and also to have given him more balance. You know, normally when Page punches, he's on his toes, he's falling away, which takes away a lot of power.
Page is up on his toes early here in the first round. He looks pretty sharp early on here. Seems to have Bay a little bit befuddled right at the moment.
Stop hitting on the break.
This fight scheduled for 12 rounds.
Nice and easy. Hold. Easy, easy.
This is what Page can't do. He can't stand directly in front of David Bay, which will give him momentum. And I think what Bay wants Page to do is to get against the ropes so he can utilize his strength.
Bay is a bomber. Telegraphed right hand there by Bay.
What Bay needs to do, Barris, he needs to work the body of Page, slow him down, and then try to make Page fight his fight.
Bay with his best punch of the fight a moment ago takes the right hand from Page. And Bay was staggered by that right hand. Page follows up. Page looks like a hungry fighter tonight, Ray.
Well, he wants to show the people that this is a new Greg Page.
Left hand by Bay.
I just don't like when Page stands directly in front of Bay because he's capable of being hit by some of those punches.
Bay was a little stunned by Page's speed early in the round, and he backed off and tried to box with him, which is the exact wrong thing to do, as his trainer indicated.
Ray, you were nodding your head in agreement with what was going on in David Bay's corner.
Well, Bay was instructed to pressure this man, and he needs to. That left hook temporarily stunned Greg Page.
That was a good punch by Bay. A left hook came up from around the hip. And Page bounces off the ropes with a two-punch combination.
One thing about David Bay, he's a very good puncher. So what Greg Page doesn't want to do is exchange punch for punch. He needs to continue to move side to side. And if he's going to stand in front of this man, give him angles.
Page looking very effective so far through the first round and a half. Another good left hand. Page is really mixing his style up a lot more than I've seen him do in the past, too. He seems to, in the past at least, have been content to stay with a jab, get on his toes, and he's throwing a lot more combinations. He's bringing his punches from a lot more angles.
Well, James wants to get more leverage behind the punches of Greg Page. Once in a while, get flat-footed and not be on his toes while he's throwing his punches, because he's taking away the power of it. Now, see, this is what Bay wants to do. Inside, work that body, slow his man down.
Good combination, the right and then a left behind it.
And you see what's happening. Once again, Page is just moving to his left. He should be moving both ways. For a second there, we had a jabbing contest, and Page should have come out on top, because I feel he has one of the best jabs, other than Larry Holmes, in the business, heavyweight division.
That was a wild right hand, and he took a right hand from Page in return, did David Bay.
Let's get out of it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy on the break. Let's get out of there. Let's go again.
You got rub on the rope. Just wipe his face. Pick up towel. Lightly. Like. Okay, you all right? Mm-hmm. Good shape. Stay right there. You stay right there.
One thing that is noticeable is that David Bay is throwing punches with what Customato used to call the meaner intentions. He's really trying to hurt Page.
This is the third round of what has been a tactical fight so far. Well-fought fight, in fact, in both corners.
Well, James Ward instructed Page. He doesn't want him against the ropes, because what happens, Bay works that body. He wants Page to stay in the center of the ring.
Three-punch combination by David Bay. Came with a right-hand lead, and it caught Page by surprise.
And you know the reason Page is being hit, Barry, because he's standing in front of his man.
Combination by Page. And another combination, and that backed Bay up.
It's difficult to see whether or not David Bay is hurt at all, because he doesn't change expressions.
Let's go.
I'm really impressed with the fact that Bay lost so much weight and is still so physically strong. Because normally to shed that many pounds, Barry, it takes a lot from a fighter. Page Page needs to snap that left jab, because what's going to happen, a counter right hand by David Bay.
That, of course, is what Jenks Morton was saying in the corner. Page said, I'm doing it. Jenks said, you're not doing it.
Well, Page is starting to float that left jab out, and it's so, he becomes so susceptible to a right hand. You notice that left hand of Page again, bro. He lays it out there just too long.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Watch out. Let's go again.
15 seconds remaining here in the third round. This one had been kind of a quiet round for both men. There's a left hand.
He tried the counter.
Stop rolling with that hand.
Now let's take a look at Greg Page's best moment in that round. It was a sort of short arm right hand. Didn't really hurt Bay. David Bay is a hungry fighter, and Page is going to have to beat that hunger out of him.
So Page comes out on his toes once more. Page, incidentally, on his robe when he came into the ring, it said, turn the page, which means, of course, it's something new time and a change in style. Management change. Great body punch.
I mean, that was a big shot. David Bay landed a very good right hand to the body of Greg Page.
Which is exactly what Bobby Lewis had told him to do in the corner. He said, don't pussyfoot it, just hit it. That was a good left to the head by Bay, and he came back with a left hand behind it, and he's got Page in the corner.
Page does not want to be there. In fact, in the corner, David Bay has a great opportunity to really do a number on Greg Page. You know what's happening, though, is the fact that every so often, Page glances into his corner to see what Jenks Morton has to say. And it's starting to break his concentration. Well, another mistake that he's making, Greg Page, he's moving and then he stops and gets in the corner, which is a bad mistake. And could prove to be a costly one.
Well, again, a couple of rounds ago, Jenks Morton said, get off the ropes.
And he's standing, Greg Page is standing directly up. So Bay can throw those wide punches and land. Those body shots to the body, they take their toll in the later round.
Very punishing, and Bay has had 4 or 5 good body shots in this round.
He's going to the body. Bay's going to the body, and watch for a shot by Bay to the head.
In fact, you can really see Bay's confidence grow in this round.
Nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay.
David Bay punches are, looping punches, but they are so effective. This shouldn't happen, Barry. I mean, Bay is beating Page to the punch with the left jab. We're talking about discouragement. It happens then.
That was a good right hand that backed Page into a corner once more. Excellent round, Larry, for David Bay, and he seems to be doing the boxing equivalent of taking what's given to him. So Bobby Lewis telling David Bay to keep it up with the jab, be more consistent with the jab, and perhaps flick it out a little bit more. He was successful in the last round, listening to Bobby Lewis, in going to the body.
Well, Bobby instructed David Bay to counter that left hook of Greg Page by blocking with his right and counter with his left hook, his own left hook. He had an opportunity right there.
All those punches of Greg Page were caught on the gloves of David Bay. Page mocking Bay that time, but those punches are scoring. And a good shot to the body and a left hand to the head.
Page is making a big mistake again, but he's standing straight up. Watch for the left hook to catch it.
Another good shot to the body by David Bay, and every time he gets Greg Page on the road, he digs first to the body.
It appeared to me that Greg was stunned by one of those punches. And now his hands is dropped. It's a bad mistake. He's in the corner. 2 bad mistakes.
And that's exactly the way he fought and lost to Tim Witherspoon, with his back to the ropes.
Now you'll notice Greg was stopping the corner. And David Bay will work the body.
Let's get up. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
David Bay losing his mouthpiece there, so he'll have to guts it out for the last half of this round without it.
Let's get out of it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. No breaks.
Greg Page's mouth is wide open, and that's somewhat of an indication that fatigue has set in.
Yeah, I think you were right. I think when he was mocking Greg Page, I'm not sure at all, but that he wasn't stunned by it. I'm not sure he's still not feeling the effects of it. That was a good quick right hand by Page there.
Page has some very bad amateur habits. I mean, he stands in front of his man, he drops his hand, he turns away, he walks away. Those are a few changes that must be made. For a boxer to be effective, and while he's moving, he needs to be doing something. He needs to be throwing punches, because all that movement will not win a fight.
Once again, Page lunging with that jab, and it's being caught on the gloves of David Bay. This is the 6th round.
For a guy who weighs over 230 pounds, Greg Page has surprising little power. And he has to take advantage of his movement. And the question is if he's just too heavy to move for 12 rounds against a pressing opponent.
Now, the reason Page does not get the true effect of his punches is because he stays on his toes always. And a couple of right uppercuts get thrown by Greg Page, but he stays on his toes and takes the leverage off his punches.
Well, once again, Bobby Lewis talking to David Bay in the corner between rounds, and he was saying, damn the respect. Don't have any respect for this guy. Stay right inside on him. And I can't help but wonder if that doesn't harken back to some of Page's other fights. I remember Tim Witherspoon saying he could walk right through Greg Page's punches. And I've heard that on numerous occasions before. That, of course, goes along with what Larry Merchant was just saying.
Well, I tell you, Greg Page could punch harder. And a lot of times he throws punches while moving away. So it's not that effective, although at times he scores. Because, I mean, Greg Page is one of the fastest heavyweights in the division. He doesn't want to be there, Barry. Once again, he's fighting David Bay's fight against the ropes and inside.
Joey Curtis yelling at the fighters, you can hear, you can fight, you can still got a hand free, you can punch. Bay, again, obeying his corner. That's what they told him to do, is stay inside. I think they probably like him to punch a little more when he is in there.
Let's go.
And you heard that story. Joey Curtis telling Greg Page no more rough stuff.
Yeah, but that was a smart thing to do for Page, to get out of that corner. It's difficult to penetrate the defense of David Bay. Those big shoulders and his long arms. And he keeps that chin tucked down, which is smart. You notice how effective the left jab of Page is. Once he uses it, it stops David Bay in his track.
So I want your hands free. What's your hands free? What's holding you up there?
Get over there.
That's my best combination, Barry. The right uppercut and left hook. The right uppercut raises the opponent's chin, and the left hook accommodates.
Let's go to work. Remember, this is your first title for your dad. The world title is for your mom. Overhand right.
David Bay is in the Army for 6 years. You heard him say to his trainer, yes, sir. We'll see if he can follow orders here.
I think he will, Larry, because he's been motivated by Bobby Lewis.
And he has followed orders the entire fight. Page backs him up. just kind of marching at David Bay now. And again, most of those being caught on the gloves.
It seems to me
there's blood under the left eye now of David Bay. It is underneath the eye, so it does not appear that it will be of any great concern, at least at the moment.
Bay seems to appear to be a little tired of me, Barry. Now Page is starting to work the body.
And that cut now getting a little bit nastier, and it could have an effect in that the eye could close because there's a lot of swelling underneath the eye. So we'll see if this doesn't change some of the strategy.
You notice now that David Bay is not really being aggressive. He's retreating now.
And he's leaning on his man also.
And that's what I was talking about. It's not a physical obstacle, it's a psychological. Could it be that he's trying to reserve himself for the last 2 rounds?
Combination by 3-punch combination, in fact, by Page.
David Bay is being hit by a couple of punches now. The left hook right hand is starting to get through.
Page being much more active in this round now, picking up the tempo. He knows he's got his man in at least a little bit of trouble because of the cut.
Bay could possibly go down because he's starting to wear down now.
And that eye is getting nastier as the moments go by here. It is not so much the cut, it's the swelling. And we will be going into David Bay's corner to see just what they can do. It is a pretty nasty welt and cut on the upper part of the cheek, actually, under the eye. Bottom part of the eye bone, I guess you'd call it.
There's a left hook by Page, a right that wasn't clean, but was indicative of the fact that Page did have much the best of it in that round.
And the swelling, of course, still there.
Well, there's a swelling on the forehead of David Bay, and that's a result of the 2 heads colliding.
And I'm sure it is getting to the point now that I would have to think Ray vision could start to be affected by the swelling. A little bit of blood from the nose of Greg Page also.
Well, what could possibly happen, Barry, is the fact that David Bay could become handicapped if Page should do more damage to the eye. Normally when a fighter that has never been cut before and is cut for the very first time in his career, sometimes it really disturbs him.
There's also a little bit of blood, I believe, on the bridge of the nose of David Bay, although that could just be from the eye, from the gloves of Greg Page. We'll try to keep an eye on that. Blood once more coming from the cut, which is on the cheek, but again, it's the swelling that could be the most damaging.
But Barry, the good thing about it is good for David Bay is the fact that the cut is under the eye instead of above, because if that was the case, the eye would close immediately.
Bay stuck Page with a good left hand, but it was all by its lonesome.
What Page should do, and I see it as a good opening, lead off rights. Because he's in a position, David Bay left hand is down. I would take advantage of it.
Bay is also breathing through his mouth a little bit, and I think there is a case of fatigue in addition to the damaging cut. Greg Page is fighting right now like a guy who feels as though he's in control of things.
Let's go again, come on.
Greg Page is relying on his left hook to get him inside. That was the lead-off right. But he's relying upon that left hook to get him inside. James Morton constantly told Page to use that left jab to the body, to the head, and work that right hand in. A lot of fighters have a tendency to try to load up with one big punch. It doesn't happen that easy. The left jab leads up to those punches.
Still a ways to go in this fight. This is the 8th round, scheduled for 12.
You're gonna punch out of those punches, I'm gonna break it up.
Swelling is all below the eye right now. Bleeding is not appreciably worse than it was in the last round, but the swelling is a little bit so. And Page again coming upstairs with that uppercut.
He feels also that Bey is tired and that there's a soft underbelly to attack there.
You know, Larry, I've heard that a number of times from Jenks. Ready to body shots, and for real, they take their toll on the fighter.
Hey, I tell you to break. I want you to break clean. Understand, both of you. Understand? Let's go.
Joe Curtis taking charge in the ring. When I tell you to break, I want you to break clean, he said. Both men scored that time. Page backed up. He might have gotten the worst of it. He says, no, I'm not hurt. He said that before, and he was.
You know why Page is being hit, Burns? Again, he's standing straight up. He's making a big mistake by just standing in front of David Bey.
And Bey digging the uppercut.
He's not using, Page is not using his left jab. And at this point now, because there's another cut on the right eyebrow.
That one could actually be more damaging than the first one. So David Bey obviously thinks he's got to get after him right now. That one is in the brow above the right eye. And that one in the long run could cause more problems because blood could get in his eye.
And when there's signs of desperation in a fighter, he becomes so dangerous. And the key for Page is to use that left jab. Stay outside. And he's starting to move a lot better now. I don't like when Page is standing in front of this man. He needs to box. Keep boxing. Work that jab.
A cut alongside the right eye, and again, we'll try to keep an eye on that too. See if it is alongside the eye or above the eye. Always more damaging if it's above.
A lot of work needs to be done to stop the bleed of David Bey.
Took a left hand, backs up off the ropes. Once more, he's going to say he's not hurt. But those punches have a cumulative effect.
David Bey's been landing those bombs to the body, and I know he wished he could land one to the head.
It appears that the cut over the right eye is alongside the eye. There doesn't seem to be any blood going into the eye itself. And the swelling on the left eye doesn't seem to be any worse than it was 2 rounds ago. He took another left-handed Page from David Bey, who's actually having a pretty good round here.
You got hands free. Let's get out of it nice and easy. Okay, and do it again.
Now let's take a look and show where Bey took charge early in this round. There were 2 lefts, one of them real good, and a right that landed on the chin as well, although it wasn't a stunning punch.
So we come to the 10th round, and that cut on David Bey's right eye is a little bit above the eye, but it's far enough outside the eye itself, I believe, to where it won't really affect his eyesight.
You notice that Greg Page has the speed to punch, get in, punch, and move out. But what he's doing, he's starting to pitter-pat. And he's not getting any respect from David Bey. And all he's been throwing so far now is just arm punches, and they're not effective, Barry.
Yeah, no snap right now on the punches.
Let's get out of it nice and easy.
Again, you saw Greg Page look over to his corner to Jenks Morton, and it is, while it's good to respect what your corner wants you to do and the coaching that you might be getting from the corner, it does break your concentration.
Now, what we have now is more power from David Bey than Greg Page. Again, Page is basically throwing arm punches, and he can't keep his man off him that way.
It's a pretty good shot by Page. Incidentally, the corner of David Bey has done a masterful job in stopping the bleeding of both cuts. There's a little bit of blood alongside the left eye. The right eye of David Bey has not opened up again in this round. Chopping right hand by David Bey.
Page is doing a lot of moving, but he's not working. I mean, he should be throwing some punches. He should be working the left jab a little more. In fact, well, both eyes are cut, so any punch would do more damage.
He seems to have had his opportunities to do damage to David Bay, and he just hasn't seemed to take advantage of them. Also, a little blood inside the mouth of Greg Page.
He's burning more energy by just moving and not doing anything.
The question, of course, is there any sting left in the punches of David Bay? And an overhead right there that landed, but again, it didn't land with much on it.
David Bay has re-seized the initiative here. Greg Page, I don't know if he's tired from the body punches.
These 2 rounds.
But he's going to have to dig down and fish inside deep to find something to get this fight back.
You're getting too close when you get off.
Here you see the little cut on the right eye of David Bay.
Overhand right, then go to the bottom to the left hook.
Is it your feeling, Larry, that this will come down to the last 2 rounds?
I think Page has to win these 2 rounds to win the fight.
I think it's a close fight, and I think you will see somewhat of a resurgence of strength from both fighters, because these last 2 rounds, like Bobby Lewis stated to David Bay, we want these 2 rounds, and they both need it.
Let's go.
Joey Curtis and Greg Page exchanging words. I always said at the top of this program that it was the kind of night that you really didn't know who was going to win, and here we are into the 11th round of this fight, and we still don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about this whole card is the fact that each fighter has the ability to defeat the other, rather, and you never know what's going to happen. I think they're very evenly matched.
Page is one of those guys that looks for all the world like he should be the champion of the world, and just never seems to put all the pieces together.
But he can, but I mean, he has the tools to become champion, but it takes a little more drive, a little more discipline to make anything happen. It takes a good attitude also.
David Bay's corner, Bobby Lewis telling David Bay to take a step back from his man and not crowd him quite as much as he was to generate a little more power. Page continues to fight with his back to the ropes. It's cost him dearly in previous fights.
I don't know why David Bay backed off from Greg Page. He should have stayed there and continued to work, whether it was the body, whether or not it was their arms.
There's a good right hand by Bay, and it backed Greg Page up. And another good right hand by Bay, or left hand rather by Bay.
You know, both fighters starting to rock each other with left hooks and right hands. But what they're going to have to do, once they hurt each other, they have to follow up with more combinations or more punches.
Greg Page finally pushes David Bay away. Bay had the better of that exchange inside.
Page, okay, Page pushed David Bay off, but he should have been doing it throughout the fight.
There again, trying to back away to get more power.
My impression as we go into the last round is that Greg Page hasn't done himself any good in this fight. His reputation, regardless of whether he wins or not. But that David Bay, if he can close impressively and win, will have done himself a whole lot of good.
That might have been the best combination of the fight right there by David Bay to start the final round.
Well, Bobby Lewis and Bay's corner instructed him to throw a right hand, and he just landed.
And another good right hand by David Bay. Bay right on top of him. That left eye now of David Bay is almost closed, but he figures he's got about 2.5 minutes to go, and that's it.
Bey is in excellent shape. And you know, Barry, he blocked out the feeling of going another additional 2 rounds. And he looks great. Evidently, he's trained very hard for this fight. He wants to win.
And again, Greg Page just standing there. And once more, just to echo what Larry Merchant had said, not looking any part the champion.
I think Page had the world on his shoulders, so much pressure. Trying to look impressive. He wanted to look good for the people. And told was a big change in Greg Page, along with David Bey, who has created a lot of problems for him.
Well, there was a definite note of concern in Greg Page's corner. He sticks his tongue out at David Bey, but this is all showbiz here. This is the land of show business, but right now, David Bey's the guy with a white collar and the 3-piece suit.
This is what champions are made of, David Bey. I mean, he's pushing himself, and both eyes has been cut, and he's still just as determined.
He's bleeding from the nose as well. A lot of heart for David Bey.
He's still pressuring the fight. He's carrying the fight. Body shots, he's been doing a number and a good job on Greg Page.
And again, a combination in close quarters.
What the judges are looking at, Percy, Page, David Bey has not stopped fighting.
Not even when he was cut. He appeared to just hit a leveling point for a while, but since that point, since he was cut over the right eye, actually, he's just come roaring back. And here he is finishing with a roar. Coming down toward 20 seconds remaining in this fight. David Bey will have won a lot of friends tonight, win or lose.
I take my hat off to David Bey.
Been a great performance for him. Only 13 fights, remember. He's never gone 12 rounds. And that's it. And this one is in the hands of the judges. David Bey was a guy with only 13 fights, 11 knockouts, so you know he hasn't gone too far. Let's take a look at some action in that final round, and Bey's just going for it.
Well, David Bey made the fight. He kept the pressure on, landed some very heavy punches to the body, and the mistake that Greg Page was making, he was trying to load it with one punch, the left hook. And he was pretty much fighting David Bey's fight, inside and against the ropes, which was a bad mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Dave Moretti scores 115-113. Judge Lou Tabbitt scores 116-112. And Judge Chuck Meeker scores 115-114 for the new USBA heavyweight champion, David Bey.
And the excitement, of course, that you would expect. And this is a decision I don't think you'll find too many people who would disagree with, right?
Well, quite naturally, Greg Page is devastated because he wanted to show the people a new Greg Page. And, I mean, people have to understand there was a lot of pressure on Page from his loss some time ago, and he's trying to regroup.
He's the man. All right, David Bey, you have two nasty-looking eyes. You got cuts here, and both eyes, on top of both eyes.
That's part of business. That's part of business.
How much did it bother you during the fight?
Oh, Page, he's slick. He's real slick, you know, y'all. But it really didn't bother me because you don't feel them while you're in the ring. They become numb. You get hit so much when they become numb.
What won the fight for you?
I guess my aggressiveness, and I hit the most effective shots.
It seemed, we talked earlier about discipline, determination. You took off a lot of weight. It showed in this fight. How did you take off 50, 60 pounds?
Determination, running and training every day. That's the way I did it. You know, I get up and run 6 miles every morning with a plastic suit on and drink a lot of water and eat that much.
It showed in the ring tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say hi to my friends back in Nicetown, Philadelphia, and to my little baby Leia. Thank you.